So basically, this is part 2 of Interview with the Pick Me. This shit is so like, why I want to be happy for Claudia, it's like, bitch, I can't, because she just makes all the wrong fucking choices. So basically, you got Claudia and Madeline, they're back at Louis and Claudia's fucking house, and she's sitting in Louis's coffin, right? Madeline, by mind you, she's sitting in Louis's coffin, and she's reading the books, and they're reading books together, and she's like, Madeline starts asking her the questions like, how does blood taste? And she's like, Claudia's like, oh, it's like food, it's like, you taste blood before. She was like, no, like, how did it taste to you and shit like that, right? So like, she was like, and what do you think about me? Like, how do you feel about me? And Claudia basically admits that, girl, I can't help but want to bite the blood in your veins, get to the blood in your veins and shit like that, right? This bitch Madeline takes out her arm and puts it to Claudia's face, and she's like, no. She was like, drink it, and she's like, no. Now, remind you, she killed Charlie. She literally murdered her first love based off of passion, based off her want for that person. Louis comes into the room like, no, because if she drinks your fucking blood, she's not going to be able to stop. And Louis is mad, rightfully so. I'm like, okay, Louis, stand up. Finally. And then he's like, no, because he was like, no, because if she drinks your fucking blood, she's not going to stop. And she's in my fucking coffin. He starts going off on Claudia, and Claudia's like, her name's Madeline, and she's my friend, and all this other shit. Right? And then and then Louis like, is it romantical? And they both said no. And then Madeline says, not yet. So then she basically tells Louis that she wants him to bite. Like, she wants to turn Madeline. He's like, girl, I ain't never, bit no fucking vampire. I never made no fucking vampire. And then she's like, no, like, I don't want your blood. Like, I wouldn't want anybody. I wouldn't want Lestat's blood in anybody. First of all, Lestat is one of the most powerful vampires. And technically, like, so basically she wouldn't want Louis. She don't want Louis to bite Madeline. She wants Armand to do it. What? This is where we get into retard mode for Claudia. Claudia's like, no, I want Armand to change fucking Madeline. And I'm like, that shit is so fucking dumb. Didn't Armand tell you to stay away from this white bitch? Didn't he choke you up and hand you up? Like, am I not in the Twilight Zone? Didn't he say he don't like your stupid ass? Didn't he throw you up against the wall, and now you're coming to him, asking him to change fucking Madeline? What's not clicking? Like, what's going on in here? So Louis basically goes along with Retard Nation, and he starts going full retard and basically telling Armand like, oh, can you change Madeline for us? Like, can you change Madeline, And then Armand is like, bitch, why the fuck would I reward her? She's you and her are one of the main fucking reasons why the Coven don't fuck with me and trying to fucking overthrow me. Why would I reward her after I told her stupid ass not to do it? And then Louis gonna say, oh, Armand, can you imagine how better our lives would be without the burden of Claudia? So Louis knows that Armand assaulted Claudia, that Armand does not want Claudia around, and he's still fucking with Armand. Did I understand that right? So he knows that Armand hates Claudia. He knows that he put his hands on Claudia, but yet somehow, some way, all of this is like, he's still like, oh, well, can you change Madeline for Claudia so she can like get out of our lives? And he's manipulating Armand with that. But the underlying basis of, Armand ain't shit. Like, Armand despises fucking Claudia. Like, and you're still with him? Let me tell you something. I was so mad at this scene. It's unfucking real. And then the whole time, Claudia is hanging out the back, right? While Louis is trying to manipulate Armand. And then Armand was like, okay, well, respect comes without a shield. Like, get your black ass out of hiding and confront me. And then he's like, you are a fucking manipulator, Claudia D. Lion Court, and basically calls her by Lestat's fucking last name. And it's some tea, bitch. It's some tea. When he called her D. Lion Court, I was on the floor. So basically, Armand goes in to talk to Madeline. He tells Claudia and Louis to close off their minds and that he'll know if they do. So he has a conversation with Madeline. And Madeline is human. She's putting on this brave fucking facade as she's eating this fucking apple. Like, yeah, girl, I have nothing to live for. I don't give a fuck if I'm a vampire. I like my food now. I'm gonna like it when I'm a vampire. And Armand's asking her the tough questions like, bitch, what would you do in a few decades? Okay, so what are you going to do after Claudia decides that she's going to commit suicide? Because eventually she will. She will get tired of living on and on and on. Like, bitch, I'm tired of living on and on and on. And then she's like, oh, well, I'm strong. I'm resilient. And she's like, basically like putting on this tough facade. Like, I'm fine. And you don't know that. Maybe I'm what Claudia needs. And Armand's just like, okay, sure, let's go with that. And he starts like really badgering her about, because I could see it in Armand's face that Armand is irritated with Madeline simply because, bitch, nobody chose to be a vampire. And here you are choosing to be something that we all fucking hate collectively. And then outside, we have a whole fucking talk between Claudia and Louis, and Claudia's like, you don't have to deal with the burden of me. Did you mean that shit? And Louis like, it worked, didn't it? It got him through the door, didn't it? But that pissed me off because it's like, you know, you're still with a man that you know despises your fucking child is ridiculous. Like, oh, like, and then she's like, oh, you're stronger now, but you took shortcuts to get here, huh? You took shortcuts to get here. You really don't know your fucking self. And what did you give up to get that sort of power? So they start going back and forth. And, you know, Louis clearly irritated that Claudia no longer wants to be around him. But I'm like, bitch, you didn't even try to conform to Claudia's life. So I'm not trying to hear anything that Louis got to say. I know that's your favorite character. He's just not mine. And then we get into the future, and then Armand's talking about how he haven't made a vampire in 500 years, and that the idea repulsed him. And then Louis was like, motherfucker, you didn't even fucking try. You didn't try, and you didn't want to fucking try. You didn't want to try to change Madeline. You didn't want to do that. And he's just like, that's just my opinion. And then he was like, well, I'm saying Claudia's opinion. And then Daniel was like, okay, well, let's see what Claudia feels. And then goes back. And then goes back to the diary. It was like, okay, well, the last entry says, fuck these vampires. That's what she said. Daniel is so messy. He goes back, because basically, but opinion, it's nothing state in fact, and we no longer have Claudia's opinion. It's just Louis' speculation and Armand's speculation and what the fuck they feel. So everything beyond this point is made the fuck up, and it's not canon, and that's just what it is. So, bitch, basically, we flash back to the past, and Armand is taking his anger out on the Coven like he always do. Every time he gets into it with Claudia or Louis, he takes his anger out on the fucking Coven, and the Coven is fucking annoyed. They don't like it. They don't like the way that Armand keeps pussyfooting and giving into Louis. Armand is a terrible fucking leader, and I can't wait until Santiago overthrows his brown ass. I'm so sick of him. So basically, Santiago is getting upset. He's like, bitch, this play is trash. Like, it's fucking trash. Like, nothing's right. And it's just like everything's wrong. He getting mad at Claudia for trying to buffer the fucking stage and shit like that. Claudia's fucking laughing because he's just like, Armand, you are so weak and pathetic. And then, you know, they're talking about Sam, but it's so funny because Santiago apologizes to Sam in his mind. And he's just like, oh, I love the play. So they're just purposely like fucking with Armand at this point because they're frustrated with Armand because Armand is weak. He's weak as fuck. Y'all stay tuned for part 3.